So I'm the CEO of Vcinity, Harry Carr, and you're going to hear from me, Steve Wallow, our CTO, and Noemi, who's our head of marketing. I'm going to give you a quick introduction and try not to do too much marketing, and then Steve's actually going to tell you what it is we do at Vcinity. And yes, it's true we can't spell, but we actually think we know what we're doing. So I'm going to try and just tell you a little bit about what we think the problem is we're trying to solve. And then Steve's going to tell you how we do it. And Noemi's going to tell you that it's real and we've done it with a number of customers. So this is an interesting company. Vcinity was actually formed in 2018, but it was specifically formed to buy a company that was called Bay Microsystems, the people, the technology, the patents, everything. And the reason is that the company had been doing work for the federal government all around the ability to very losslessly and deterministically move data around the world to support the U.S. Military and intel community. And it's not an understatement to say lives are on the line with this technology. And it's got a rich history and a rich DNA, and there's a whole patent portfolio around it. But the whole idea behind Vcinity was to take that, really, if you will, that high-speed file movement and see what we could do with it, and see what we could do with it, particularly in the enterprise IT environment. And fundamentally, what you're going to see is we've evolved that to where, as I like to say, about 2 weeks into the journey of Vcinity, we take the distance out of data. Right? And if you really think about the challenge, ever since the computer was created back in the 1940s, there's been immense amounts of progress in compute capability, the size, the capacity, the capability, same thing in storage. There's only one problem we haven't solved, at least before Vcinity, which is in order to run an application, the data had to be co-located where the application sat on a computer. And that's fundamentally the paradigm that we change and the technology we've created. You no longer have to do that. We let you operate on the data wherever it is. And why is that a big deal? Well, as we get to things like AI and machine learning, predictive analytics, and it's all about time and cost insight. Why do enterprises need 15 copies of every piece of data? They don't. The problem is it's the only way for them to work. If I want you to work in a workflow on something I'm working on, I have to get you a copy, right? That's what technology has been. And really, if you think about it, it's about time, it's about cost, it's about productivity, and it's also about delays in decision making. And with the DNA of the sort of military intel background, it literally was time that mattered, literally from a sense of somebody's life was on the line. But the other thing that in the world we're living in today, post SolarWinds and all of the cybersecurity issues that are going on, the more copies I have everywhere, the more unintended liabilities I bring along, whether it's security, privacy. I literally expose my enterprise to what we call unintended liabilities and unintended consequences. So we've come up with the phrase, we are out to shatter the limits of connectedness. I told my team last year I have 5-year-old twins, and one of the things they said, they gave me the vision for this company when they were 3, because they just wanted to know why that little circle or that little hourglass kept moving. Why couldn't they watch, their favorite cartoon faster? Why was this thing called buffering? And it was interesting because it really is a metaphor for the enterprise IT challenge. You're always waiting to get a copy in order to continue in a workflow in the enterprise IT world. And we change that paradigm. We bring enterprises together so that the data, wherever it was created, gets to be used instantly and immediately. In fact, with us, they can use it faster than even we could move it if they wanted us to move it. So distance and latency are no longer the issue that they used to be. And if you think about it, you're all way more technical than I am. But I started my career off in a little networking company called AT&T. The interesting thing about latency, if you step back and think about it, is it's actually deterministic. The thing that's caused all the problems in the IT world is all the different protocols that we put on top of that latency, but we blame latency for it. So it's kind of like my wife always blames me for things that go wrong. It's sort of the same kind of phenomenon. So I'm going to leave you with this and turn it over to Steve to give you a more detailed understanding of how we do it and he's going to show you it. But fundamentally, what we believe is we create the connected enterprise, the true connected enterprise. There's lots of marketing fluff about hybrid cloud. There's our COO who's not on the call. Got himself in a newspaper article a couple of years ago when he said we're going to turn the cloud on his head. The answer is we don't care where the compute is and we don't care where the data is. We bring them together wherever they are. And we think that matters in a number of very important ways to enterprises. It's about time. It's about time to decision. It's about time to being able to get revenue. It's about all of those things that affect the success of an enterprise. Otherwise, we're just another interesting technology.